welcome to Miko's Music Connection. This month we'll be talking about two YG Entertainment boy groups by the name of Winner and iKON. So before I get this video started, I'm going to have a little bit fun with myself, my editing self. I'm going to keep a counter of how many times I mention the name Big Bang or make any references to Big Bang, because I feel like that's going to happen quite a lot in this video. Alright, let's get into the first group, which is Winner. So Winner was part of a survival show by the name of When, Who Is Next. Have I watched this show? No. Will I? Probably not. I feel like this is going to be a running theme on this series because there was another group or two that were also formed through survival shows, but I'm like, what's the point? I already know who, is part of the group. I mean, I know I could, delve in if I really, really liked them and see what their journey was like, because I did do that for Big Bang, but that was like so long ago. But my introduction to this group was their debut song, Empty. Really liked this song. Very good song. Wasn't expecting like a ballady type song, but it's pretty good. It really showcases the guys' vocals. So I give him that. At the time of Winner's debut, I feel like I had some like mixed feelings towards them, and I could say the same thing for iKON, because I felt like YG was kind of faltering a bit as far as promotion's sake. And when I say YG, I mean the founder. So I'll try to differentiate between the founder and the label. Let's go with that. Empty, very solid debut. Winner was a group much like the other group that I'm tacking onto this video, iKON, and some other groups apparently, that I started off in the beginning when they debuted, but kind of fell off somewhere towards the middle and picked up some songs here and there, and then I did this video, so therefore I had to deep dive on their whole discography, including solos and all their music videos, which was quite the undertaking. So it was a lot. It was a lot of information to take in. So I'm glad to be dumping all of this out now and clear it out for other Miko Music Connection entries, so I don't have to remember stuff anymore. But I do remember this particular moment when they blew up with this song called Really Really. This song is used so much in K-pop guessing song challenges, which is the reason why I know the song, and it kind of irritates me a little bit. Not really irritate, but annoy. But it's one of those like really catchy trop house kind of like dancey songs, which is very different than what they started with, but it's not a bad thing. Different is good. In the beginning, I thought that a lot of their songs, they were nice, they were enjoyable, they were very calm. They really reminded me of some stuff from Big Bang. I don't know if that was an influence because of who was producing it, or if there was some collaborative efforts between the members or not, because I know like JD did some like producing and stuff, so maybe that's an influence, something that I probably should have looked up, but I didn't, so do that on your own. It's not an educational video. So my relationship with Really Really currently, when I was doing this, I didn't cringe as much. I do like the song, it's okay. It's definitely not one of my favorites, like at all, but it's an okay song. I get why it was popular, I get why a lot of people like it, and why it like really put Winner on the map. because it made them just stand out a little bit more than their previous stuff. But I believe, if I remember correctly from the Wikipedia page, they were instant, like, monster rookies, as they like to call them. Which I also get, because they are a very, very talented group of men. But before I get into, like, the solo parts, I do want to, like, voice a little gripe with YG. And like I said, YG, the founder, not the label. There was a release by the name of Exit E. I believe, if I remember correctly, was supposed to follow the same blueprint as Big Bang's Made. And by blueprint, I mean they would release a song or two and it would spell out the word exit. And somehow it just fell through. I don't know what happened. But I don't know if there's some inner circles out there that are still a little disappointed that they never completed that whole project, that whole plan of doing a exit X, I, and T, like they did with Made. They spelled out all the letters, and then ultimately made like a full album, like, project called Made. It just didn't happen with Winter. I just wanted to share that little gripe, that's all. Moving on. So currently they did release another EP by the name of Holiday, and they are currently promoting a song called I Love You. This song is, once again, very catchy, very summery vibe. Kinda gives me a more modern take to the whole really, really epidemic viralness blow up. Which is fine. I really like it. I could not avoid it because apparently it pops up on my Instagram quite a bit, maybe because I'm following Winter. But they've been promoting it pretty hard, and I totally get it. It's a very good summer track. And we need these kind of, like, bright, upbeat tracks, especially because we're finally kind of, like, getting out of this, like, pandemic mode of COVID and whatnot. So, kudos to them. It's a good song. I enjoy it. I'm going to save my thoughts on solo stuff for a little later because there's some crossover with the next group, iKON. So iKON was also part of the same survival show as Winter, and they were named Team B. They were Team B, and I guess the winning group was Team A. I don't know. I didn't watch the show, like I said, but according to how it's phrased in Wikipedia, iKON, or the members, or some of the members, or whatever, were part of Team B. So they entered another competition show the following year, I'm guessing by the name of Mix and Match. And those members that competed and won, of course, became what we know as iKON. This group debuted the following year in 2015, as you can see by the stats, and I really thought it was interesting that YG, like I said, the founder, was putting all this emphasis and energy into these two groups, iKON and Winter, but not really doing a lot with Big Bang and I guess Asterisk 21 as well. So I just thought it was just very interesting that they have these two groups, but wasn't doing anything with their, like, established talents. And at the time, I was like a YG stan, but I was very frustrated, like a lot of YG stans. Currently, not a YG stan. I don't stan any labels, so there you go. I have washed my hands of claiming any labels because all of them are trash. Congratulations. But anyway, I just thought it was very interesting. And then, of course, Big Bang went a little quiet for a while, so there was that. And I couldn't help but think, and this is while they were like putting out more material, and yes, I will go back and tell you what my first song was. I just found it interesting that they were just putting all that energy into these two groups but not doing anything. Anyway, so my introduction to iKON, because as the faithful YG stan that I was, I had to check them out because, of course. Plus, I was running, you know, this lovely vlog, and I don't know if I had this particular channel or my original YouTube channel, but yes, I was obligated to check them out because it's YG Entertainment. Of course I have to see them, because I like YG. So, their debut song was My Type, and I actually liked My Type. It was a very good song. It made them different than what Winner was presenting, and at the time I just kind of compartmentalized and simplified in my head that Winner is going to be doing more of the softer, slow, ballady type songs, and iKON would focus more on like a hip-hop, upbeat, youthful kind of sound, which is fine. 너의 가녀린 미소 나를 보는 눈빛도 흠잡을 데가 없어 한시도 지루할 틈이 없어. I like when these labels make these groups and try to differentiate the two, which is a problem I currently have with some groups and labels now, where their sounds are starting to bleed and they're losing individuality, and I just want them to be different, and this is a rant for another day. You'll hear about it, trust me. But the song that made me really like them was when they released Rhythm Ta and Airplane. Airplane, of course, is kind of like a semi-ballad type song, but it's something that I feel like only iKON could really pull off. It didn't really sound like something that Winner would do, so it still gave them a very distinct sound because it still had a bit of hip-hop flavor to it. And I appreciated that, and it was great to see that kind of diversity. Winner also displayed diversity too, with experimenting with other sounds and stuff as well, which I believe I neglected to mention because not all their stuff is, you know, ballady, slow down stuff. They do some upbeat stuff as well. But I feel like, simplified terms in my head, I felt like iKON was more of the hip-hop side of YG that YG is mostly known for. YG Entertainment, sorry. It's mostly known. Of course, their big blow-up. Another song that I felt is so overrated. It's a little annoying, but returning to it for this video when I was researching didn't really bother me as much, and I totally get why it's popular. Just Love Scenario. I feel like the problem I had with this song back then was I felt like it just felt like something that didn't really fit the brand that iKON originally started off with for some reason. In a ways, I can still understand that sentiment I had back then of like, this is very different than what they were presenting to me, this whole hip-hop thing. They were doing this song, which is okay, but not really my thing. So, if you love Love Scenario, go for it. I'm not shaming you. It's just not one of my favorite songs. So, delving into both of these very talented groups, I can say that I felt like some of their songs, especially when I was going through the music videos, it felt like Big Bang leftovers. Winner got a lot of their softer songs that kind of reminded me of like Sober and Blue, and like iKON like also had some songs that reminded me of other Big Bang songs as well that just seemed like leftovers. And there was like one song in there that kind of reminded me of something that Psy would have done back in the day in the 2000s. Yes, he was around before Gangnam Style, guys. Educate yourselves. Once YG Entertainment finally gave these two groups their own identity, I think that's when they really like started thriving as musicians and standing out a little bit more in the genre, which made me happy because I don't want them to sound like leftover Big Bang songs and Psy songs. I want them to have their own color and flavor and voice to make them different, because YG Entertainment is, you know, one of the big three, and they should be, you know, the pioneers of, you know, the whole swag movement and whatnot. That's all I'm saying. They're supposed to be the trend, is their latest release, But You, which is another song that has been heavily promoted and been thrown into my reel because I follow iKON and some of the members. It's another like summery, upbeat, fun song, just like Winner's I Love You, but in a totally different way. They sound different, but but this one has kind of like more of a retro-ish sound to it than like your typical like summery sound, if that makes sense. It's cool. I like it. It's definitely different. It's if someone presented this song to me and said, "Oh, by the way, like this is Winner and this is iKON and this is the me from like the beginning when they first started," I would have never believed anyone. I would have been like, "No way. They don't sound like this. They sound like this and they sound like this, but definitely not this." Here are some lovely stats about myself with iKON. So now I can move forward with talking about some solos from Winner and iKON. I'm going to start with the less obvious ones, which, at least in my opinion, I feel like they're the less obvious ones, because I didn't know they had solo material other than like what's presented on albums, because that does happen. They did that with Big Bang. They threw some like solo material on their like albums and mini albums, which is pretty cool. But these were actual outside of the group release material, which is cool. One of them is Jinwoo. I don't know which name he's going by right now, so I'm just gonna go with Jinwoo. There you go. He didn't really have a lot of material from what I could tell. He might have done some like OST stuff that I didn't listen to, but I did watch the video that he did with Miko, which was fun and cute, and I liked it. Good song. There you go. 넌 늘 폰을 달고 있잖아 항상 내게 답장 하나 없잖아. But the one that had a little bit more material, and it was material that I was surprised to like hear, and also had to like, I thought I was done listening to their discography, but apparently I did not, so I had to go back and listen to all of his solo material for this video. And there was a moment in the beginning of listening to the solo stuff that I was confused and thought I had the wrong person, but it was the right person who I was listening to. It was just a totally different genre that I was just not expecting. And that was for, I think it's Sungyoon. I think his name is also shortened to Yoon, but I'm going to try to keep with saying his name Sungyoon. So his solo stuff, the stuff that made me confused, was very acoustic work, and his voice just sounded very different. And when I was like looking up stuff, or reading his biography on Spotify, they say that his voice stands out and he's renowned for like his range and deep vocals and stuff. So I'm like, oh, I can totally see that. And I watched his music videos and stuff, and a lot of the acoustic stuff that he played, the more acoustic guitar solo stuff, before he got into like more of the borderline, more mainstream or popular stuff that people internationally and stuff would be more attuned to, accustomed to. It was nice, not my kind of thing. It falls into that whole, you know, coffee shop rock, OST, type music, which isn't really my thing, but I know the type of sound is very popular in South Korea, so, you know, have at it, get your coin, bro. As far as iKON, it didn't seem like a lot of their members did a lot of solo work aside from the ones that a lot of people know. So I'm gonna put a spotlight on all three of these lovely gentlemen, starting with the lovely, talented Miko. So I first heard I'm Him, which was the first solo Miko song that I've heard, and probably a lot for those who started with Winner in the very beginning. Really liked the song, very great. I instantly liked him as a rapper. I really enjoyed him. Although at times I felt like they kind of modeled him a little bit as like the next G-Dragon in a way, because he also wrote and produced his own stuff later in his musical career. But I felt like they modeled him a bit like him, but eventually he found his own like voice and color and image and stuff. But every now and then I kind of saw it like, you can't make him the next G-Dragon, like there's only one GD, let Miko be Miko and let him have his own, you know, brand. But eventually I feel like he got to express himself a little bit more in his like first like full solo project, and of course like as more solo projects came out, because I feel like he's probably had like the most like collection of solo things. I know Songyun has quite a bit of stuff as well, but I feel like he has like the biggest collection of like cool projects, and he's done a lot of collaborations, which I was like surprised to discover when I was watching his Dingo freestyle, which is just fantastic and a treat to experience. So maybe I'll put a card, maybe I'll put a link, but yeah, definitely check out the Dingo freestyle. Also, both of these groups did their own like collective medley of all of their hits as well, which is very fun to listen to and experience and see how much they've grown over the years. But Miko released Fiancé, and everybody went crazy over it. It was great. It was a good song. I love the video. Every now and then I saw an inkling of GD in there, but I felt Mino's colors shining through a lot more in this release compared to older versions of himself, or what was presented in the beginning when YG was trying to push this like second coming and third coming of Big Bang. But yes, like I said, Miko did a lot of collaborations. Some of them you can see with Epic High, and some of them you can see with Silent T. There's just so many listed. It just goes on and on if you look up his discography on Wikipedia. It's quite extensive, and it was just great to hear. Also, he was part of Show Me the Money 4. I don't know how well he did. I think he did probably pretty good, because he has some actual solo stuff from it, and that means he made it to a certain point where like his songs actually matter, that goes on a CD. But I have not watched season 4 yet, so please no spoilers. I will watch it though, because I have seen Show Me the Money 3, where Bobby and B.I. were on the show. They decided to jump in this competition, I believe. I don't know if they debuted or not, or they were I know they were being teased quite a bit as like the YG trainees or the YG rappers or whatever, and people downplayed their talent. This wasn't the best showcase of B.I.'s talent, because, I mean, both of them were quite young, but I feel like B.I. kind of like lacked a bit of confidence in his skills and stuff, and that really showed and hurt him in his journey in the competition. Sorry to spoil that a little bit if you have not seen Show Me the Money 3. I mean, it's been out for so long. I'm sure you guys are, you know, gearing up to watch Show Me the Money 11. I have so much catching up to do. But yeah. And eventually, if you do know, I did start writing a post about Show Me the Money 3 the episode that they're both on, but I never finished it, and one day I will, I promise. It's still in my head of what I want to say. Don't you worry. But Bobby, he did very well on the show. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who has not seen season 3, but yes, both of them were on season 3 of Show the Money. So maybe that was the reason why Minnow was on the following season. At first, I held the longest of grudges against Bobby because of reasons that's connected to that show, and I didn't think he was very talented, honestly. I was like, why do they keep praising this guy? I mean, he's good, but he's not as good as, like, his competitors, and plus I was just hardcore, like, pushing this whole Bosco, you know, fan in me because I'm a Korean hip-hop fan. Sorry. Also, it made me, you know, get into some of the other artists that was on that season, which was great to, you know, add to my enjoyment of Korean hip-hop, such as Ulti and Iron and C-Jam, so thank you, Show Me the Money. But going back to do my deep dive and listen to Bobby's solo work, I have learned to appreciate his versatility. He's able to do, you know, your regular hip-hop stuff, but he also can do more of, like, the softer, slower stuff, but not quite ballady, but, you know, R&B, hip-hop fusion that works well if you know what you're doing. Bobby's solo stuff is great. That's all I'm saying. It's pretty good. I'm getting over my grudge. I mean, I'm still upset with some stuff from Show Me the Money 3, but I am now acknowledging that Bobby is talented. He is a talented rapper. I was just mad. Forgive me. Before I move off of Bobby, there was a nice bridge collaborative effort between him and Minnow called Mob. I believe it's pronounced Mob. Otherwise, it's just M-O-B-B. I never know with these Korean groups because sometimes they put these little, you know, periods in between letters and it's like, oh, it's actually pronounced, you know, ace. And then other times they have, like, no dots and it's like, no, it's not 6, it's C-I-X. I'm just like, make up your mind on what these rules are. I don't know. It's like, either do the letters with the dots or, like, leave the dots off and just let it be what it's pronounced. Make up your mind. But anyway, Bobby and Minnow did a thing together, and I really liked it. Bobby did a solo thing called Hole Up, which was great, and then eventually Minnow also did a solo thing too. I forgot what the name of it is. And then they did, you know, Full House and some other songs, and it was just a whole collection release, which I thought was cool.
Kimchi. Boom, girl, would you roll me down? Let's rock, girl. Boom, girl.
Even though it just made me think, well, maybe YG is trying to push them together and make, like, the second coming of GD and Top because he realized, you know, that collaborative effort was super successful, so maybe I can strike, you know, lightning twice. Is that how that phrase works? Lightning striking twice. That. Be successful twice in a row with the same concept. So, I would like to believe that the collaborative effort was successful. I mean, in my mind, I liked it. I thought it was a good collab of both of their talents and to show off their rappers a little bit more in a different atmosphere out of their groups. And plus it bridges them together once again, you know, bringing them back together since they were both on Win. So, there you go. So, last but not least, because I don't want to leave him off, even though he's not part of iKON anymore, unfortunately, is B.I. Originally, B.I. was, I guess, my loosely kind of sort of bias in iKON if I had to pick. I just really liked him. I don't know what it was. I do like his rap style and stuff, so it was just very heartbreaking to hear the allegations put on him and him confessing that he was interested in trying an illegal substance in South Korea is just marijuana. I mean, it's legal in other countries. It's legal in like a lot of countries here in America. But yeah, he thought about it. He didn't do it. But yet he left or got kicked out. And I just thought that was super unfair. And I don't want to jump into a YG is trash rant, but it was just very disappointing that he didn't put any effort in defending his artist and trying to keep him an icon, because I felt that B.I. and Bobby's dynamic with their rapping styles just worked really, really well. And I just like to imagine like what it would have been like if B.I. stayed, like what their music would have became if he stayed. Not that I'm complaining with where they are now, iKON, but yeah, you know, can't help but imagine, you know, the what ifs. But yeah, I just feel like YG could have done more. And rant. I'm not going to go further than that. That's just a whole nother video for another day. But I feel like B.I. as a solo artist now, ever since he left YG Entertainment, I feel like he's doing very well for himself. Recently, I saw pop up on various places I buy K-pop from that he has his own official light stick, which is pretty cool. Congrats, dude. So he's currently promoting a song called B2B2, which is, every time I see his name, that is the first song that pops in my head. The song is so hypnotizing and addicting, and I love it. It's so good. You should definitely check it out.
When my eyes are on you, 숨막힐 듯한 전율로, you know you get me loose, make me go bitter, bitter.
He's been doing this whole like TikTok challenge trend that a lot of K-pop artists has been doing, because you know that's what's popular these days. And I get it's good, you know, promotional track, and I cannot wait until he releases his next like full solo project. But he has had 2 other previous solo projects by the name of Waterfall and Cosmo, which is also very, very good. And like I said, I'm just very proud of where he's gotten to since leaving iKON. And I'm glad that he was able to rebuild and restore and, you know, keep the fans and gain more fans as a soloist. But I'm proud of where they've become, and that they were able to overcome the not scandal, and they're still growing and thriving and doing their thing. And I believe both of them have had great successes in Japan as well, which is always a good thing, because Japan's like one of those, you know, hot spots to get your coin for music. So there you go. So now I can ask the very important question to myself: is Miko an inner circle or an iconic? Well, sorry to disappoint you guys, but I don't think I can really claim either fandom name confidently. I can say that I'm a casual fan of both of these artists, definitely. I do enjoy Winter quite a lot. I do enjoy iKON quite a lot as well. I feel like they both hit different parts of genres that I do enjoy and will listen to. Some days I want to listen to a certain song from iKON ever since I did my research, and then other days I'm just like, I'm kind of craving a little bit of this Winter song as well. But I feel like I tend to go more towards a lot of the solo material a little bit more as of lately, since I haven't been, obviously, after I've done all my research and stuff, I feel like I've been dipping my toes a lot more into like solo material stuff. So if I had to choose, it's a hard one. You know what? It's my video. I don't have to choose. I like both. They're both really, really great. If I go off of purchase, I guess Winter is my thing, because I do have Cross. I have not opened it, but there will be an unboxing, of course. So of course I'll like throw the playlist for y'all to check out, because some of these other ones I have unboxed. But I think the only reason that I have a Winter mini album is because I can't find a certain iKON album, I feel like without me, stopping to go look at my phone to see how many songs I like more of, I don't know, I feel like maybe Winter edges out iKON just a smidge, just a smidge. But I look forward to listening to Cross again. I kind of want their the SS release because it was pretty good, very solid work. But I really want that Welcome Back album because it has a lot of good tracks on it. So if I could ever find it, that'll definitely be added to my collection. The other stuff that I do have sitting here on my lap, one is another one that I have not unwrapped yet, which is Mino's third full album, To Infinity, that has the Tang song. I really love this release. I'm looking forward to owning more solo Mino stuff. I believe I can confidently say out of the active solo members that are still part of the group, sorry B.I., I feel like Mino is my favorite between him and Bobby. But I really like B.I. quite a bit, so he's definitely in the running. The whole me liking Mino a little bit more Bobby has nothing to do with my little grudge from Show Me the Money at all. It's just more of taste in what I just enjoy, and I tend to go towards his solo stuff a little bit more, but I feel like I need to return back to Bobby's stuff and maybe regroup and maybe give him some of my money. But for now, I just want to collect some Mino stuff, and eventually I will get one or two more of his releases because I need XX in my life because it's a very good project as well. But I do get a little dose of Bobby because I did buy the Mob release, which I did unwrap in a video. So yeah, like I said, the playlist is there so you can check out me opening this up. And I got the Mino version. Mostly, well, yes, I love Mino. I like him more than Bobby. I already said that. I also like Blue. But also, this was also the only version that was available at the store that I bought it at. The Bobby version was sold out. Because clearly, I guess Bobby is more popular than Mino, which is interesting, but I totally get it. He's a sweetheart. The other thing that I bought, of course, is B.I.'s Waterfall, which is also another fantastic project. And before I started filming, I realized that I probably should buy Cosmo because apparently it passed the test and I liked a lot of the songs on it. Although I don't really remember what any of them sound like. But it's okay. I consume a lot of music and I can't store every single sound in my head. So I'm sure once I replay it, I'll remember some of the stuff. So that's it. That's the video. Successfully tackled this month's entry on time, guys. Yes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a good old like down there, and if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button because I know so many of you, a lot of you, it's just very disappointing. You're not subscribed. You totally should. I post stuff here once and twice a week sometimes, so you'll never know unless you subscribe. So there you go. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in another video. Peace.